eventual future use, as we did also last year. Yeah, recording is on. Perfect. Let's start our PhD day. Let me introduce briefly myself, and I will also start sharing the screen, so it will help me to go structure my thinking. And it should be it. I hope you can see the screen. Usually it works. If I don't hear any objections or screams, I assume that you can see the screen. Perfect. And so welcome to this live part event of our PhD day. It's becoming tradition already. I don't even remember if it's the third or fourth PhD day that we organize. So it is really becoming tradition. Thanks for joining. My name is Luděk Bláha. I'm a Vice Dean for Research, PhD Studies, and also International Issues of the Faculty of Science. And I would like to welcome very warmly all of you, not only students of Faculty of Science, but also other colleagues. And now I see I have some errors, and also colleagues and guests from other faculties that may eventually join us today. So you are very much welcome. We will proceed straight away so we don't waste our times. I will just give you the idea about the objectives, why we do this, and what are the objectives of our meeting today, or overall the PhD day, not only the meeting. First of all, it's to meet and greet, to learn each other a little bit. For many of you in the early stages of your PhD studies. Also, what we want to bring to you as PhD students is not the complete information, because it's useless. You would be flooded, but rather than overview of the most relevant or most important information hubs or spots that might be important and hopefully useful for you. And also, I would like to stress out that this is about supporting you as PhD students, so also noting some various options that we as faculty and your supervisors try to support you as ESRs. That's a new abbreviation used all around Europe, early stage researchers, and I will be using it several times during my presentation today. Hopefully, in addition to information, I hope that we will motivate you a little bit to grow, to improve, and not only advance yourselves in your careers, but also support the growth of our faculty, because through your bodies, through your brains, we can grow together and we can improve the work that we do together. So that's another objective for our meeting. Also, we want to give a floor or bring a floor for question and answers. I hope there will be some, hopefully, and we will have special focus today on international mobilities. I will have one slide on it, and then there are two colleagues who will share their experiences with their stays abroad, just to motivate you again to understand why international mobility is an important aspect in your PhD, and how can it help you and how can we support you in this. So that's the objectives. Before we go further, I would like to just give a little background why we do PhD days. It's really the strategic movement or activity that we have, because we, and this is not a buzzword, this is really objective and strategic goal of our faculty, is to really be as best as possible and to improve in our science, in research that we do. PhD studies in the Czech Republic are considered PhD studies, but in fact it's a science. It's an opportunity for you to learn how to do properly science, how to get oriented in the science field, in the science business, if I can call it like this. So it's our strategic goal to, through you, reach this best excellence, whatever is hidden by this little bit buzzword, but we hope that through wonderful and motivated students, we can do it. Also, this is not only our idea, but we have an international scientific advisory board These are the guys on the right side. I'm sure you cannot read the names, but if you Google, for example, Muni ISEP, you will get there. And they are headed by Josef Jiřičný, who is a Czech person living whole life in Switzerland and having enormous achievements in biochemistry. And they are helping us to promote this science and provide us with advices through PhD. So we try to follow advices of other people. And also we will be establishing our own faculty, ISEP, this autumn. So you as early stage researchers, PhD students are really essential to reach this excellence. And I will not, within the format that we have, it does not make sense to touch all the aspects, but I encourage you strongly to go to, and I will come to that a little bit later again, to see the document which was distributed in this news, in this invitation, which is called HR Strategy for Researchers. It's a presentation and also many accompanied documents for you as PhD students to see more details about how we as Faculty of Science and Masaryk University support you in achieving your best careers and also our long-term goals. So I will touch it and show what I mean by this document as well, but if you haven't done so, I just stress this out. So why we do PhD days, why we have them? We wish to motivate you, support and communicate with you. So far, due to the format that we have, it seems like one-way communication. I'm talking, you hopefully listen if you don't sleep after your lunch. But I hope there will be interactions coming from that more and more because only through communication with you and having feedback from you, we can improve our activities yet. So this is why we have these PhD days. I've introduced myself. I would like to also in the beginning just thank to organizers of this PhD day, Andrea Štěpánková and other colleagues from our Dean's office who helped to organize and put things together. So thanks a lot. And now I will start a presentation that how to put it, this title that you see, Excellent PhD Graduates at our Faculty of Science at Masaryk University, Expectations and Support, that sounds like very fancy title, and I put it on purpose. And but the goal here is really to show you how we as heads of faculty think and what is the framework, what we expect from you as excellent PhD graduates. But before we go further, I want you to ask also a little bit introduce yourself. So let's look who is here online. I see that there are some 54 people, and I will try to put it into chat window. So if you go to webpolf.com/linden443, and I just put it into the chat window so you can copy it to your browser. There should be questions prepared that allow us to introduce each other. So I hope you can see if you open that link, Paul EV, like pauleverywhere.com, Lindan443. Now I have a question to you. Who is here? Are you undergraduate student and you think about PhD, so you want to learn through this session a little bit more? Or are you a starting PhD student at faculty? Or are you experienced PhD student and you wish to be updated what's going on? Or are you a research staff, academic, administrator, whatever associated with our faculty, or different? So yeah, you made it, you got in, and you can put your identification, and it's very nice distribution. That's cool. So out of 54, some 1/3 are undergraduate students, 1/3 are starting students. Excellent. So welcome, because this is many aspects that I'm going to talk about, and I will just point to them are relevant a lot to you, our younger colleagues at the master or bachelor level when you consider about PhD. So I hope that it can aid to your decision making about PhD. And I also hope that there will be some practical aspects for you starting PhD students. Great. So we have quite diverse portfolio or diverse community today, which is wonderful. And we will go further then. And I will start sharing with you some things that you might be aware of, so they will be trivial, but just point to them. If you haven't been there yet, please, information can be found at different places, as you know, even for PhD students, it's not at one. Yeah, okay, good. So I just want to encourage you, if you haven't done so, go to Portal. You should be, if you are at Maastricht University as a PhD student, you should have access there. And especially to this part in the research section, you will find information that is distributed by Rectorate, but also by Faculty of Science for PhD students, not only for PhD students, but also for PhD students. There are announcements about different projects, calls, current information. Of course, in addition to this, you can use Faculty of Science web pages. So Simony, or how to call it, web, and how to find it. If you go to our web, in the student section here, there is a PhD section where all, let's say, administrative and necessary information for your help is also available. So these are two main things where you can look, but it's not all, of course. For today, one source of information is our PhD Day Today, and this is just a print screen or cut off from the PDF that was inviting you. And there are two sessions. We are now here at the bottom in this online live meeting, but where I am now trying to address this, let's say, opening address, but I would like to stress out that there is also offline content for our PhD Day. Click on the link for PDFs and other materials. There are videos from last year and also other important documents, for example, our PhD guide. To go through these documents as soon as you start your PhD studies, and also for you, dear friends and colleagues in younger situations, undergraduate students, because they may show you the philosophy and the principles that we apply in PhD studies. Early during today, I mentioned this HR strategy for researchers. So there is a detailed presentation describing the efforts of our HR Award Office and the activities that are important for you as PhD students. And I'm sure they will bring you a lot of inspiration and a lot of input. So please look at those. And also from our colleagues who coordinate these activities at faculty, please expect the questionnaire at the end where they will ask you for eventual feedback. We really need your feedback. So don't miss this offline part as well. Open it, look at that, and check it out. And final information hub, or rather, let's say, contact point that I would like to stress to you, because many of you are not students from the Czech Republic, many of you are not even our previous students from Maastricht University. In our system at universities, there is an academic senate, which are academics and students actually elected by the student community, and they should represent you. And there is a large number of students that are your representatives. They have mandate to talk directly to Dean, bring inputs and help us. So if you don't feel that you get proper reflections, for example, when you address somebody and you don't get answers, you can also approach the academic senate and the students in academic senates. Many of these students are PhD students as well, so they can help you directly or bring your inputs directly to the dean. So this is one part, just kind of information hub for you where to look if you did not, if you haven't used it before. Also, I did not put it here on the screen, but Rectorate is directly communicating with you, offering various options and information from let's say headquarters of the university. So this is additional information for you. Specifically, during today, I will not repeat most of the information that was mentioned here at this meeting last year. So I just, in addition to looking at these offline files, just please go to this Throwback Thursday, nicely called video, organized from last year, where there is essential information that I will not be talking today because repetitions are not needed if it's recorded, so you can look there. And most importantly, there is an overview of PhD studies at our faculty. And in that presentation last year, I highlighted the different areas and importance of topics, and also importance of supervisors. This is, I think, essential and critical, especially for you, future PhD students. If you seek for your future topic, supervisor is one additional piece of puzzle or important stone for you to succeed. And in that video, I comment on various aspects. I commented on them last year, so I encourage you to look at that and consider the information there. Further, in the presentation last year, we discussed about the previous gaps that we identified in processes and PhD studies at Faculty of Science and how we try to address them. So there are some notes on financing of you as PhD students through scholarships and others. We try to reach transparency that we do, for example, through these PhD days and others, and also how to better manage your PhD studies. So, for example, we stress out that you have a PhD ombudsman or ombudsperson. If you are not aware of that, please go to this presentation presented last year. Practical tips how to succeed in PhD have also been commented last year. I hope that some of the next slides will bring you motivation, but on practical tips, for example, how to organize your time, how to or where to be active and so on. Again, you can find it in the presentation the last year. And finally, in fact, the order in the presentation is different. Why PhD? It's a crucial question. It's the essential question. Why going for PhD? I also tried to address it from my perspective, my own personal perspective last year. So if you are eventually interested, go to that last year presentation. But I will follow with this question to you. Why PhD from your perspective? Please go again to this Paul E.V. Linden 443. And with one word or one short expression, why do you think it is important to go for PhD for your own or in general? Take your time and try to put your ideas. What do you think PhD is good for? Or what comes to your mind if you think about why to go for PhD? And it's coming. Perfect. Challenge. New possibilities. Research, science, great, thank you. Working in academic field, that's very nice. Improving, also something meaningful. Yeah, that's good to hear that you can see this. It's fun. Challenge, as again, experiences and expertise. New and new are coming. Also, you can support some of the claims by not adding your own, but also clicking and topping up some of the other expressions if you agree with them. Love for science, pursuit of science, personal development. Interesting future. It's fun. Yeah, experience, expertise coming up to be topped. Knowledge. Any other job in science. Okay, so you need PhD if I understand correctly. Love, interesting future, perfect experience, challenge. It's coming again. I will try. Oh, sorry. I will try to scroll down a little bit. What's coming here? Yeah, okay, it seems that the things that appeared before are being topped, yeah, because you like them. Perfect. So I'm very glad to see that there are, let's say, motifs repeating, like science, love for science, passion, possibilities, challenges, personal development, and so on. And that's great, because this is what PhD should be about. It's about science, and it's about personal development. I will try to add on your expression. So thanks for being frank and expressing and showing what you think are important aspects in PhD. But before we go further, and I will add my views as a representative of the dean, I will have another question, and you already started to address it. Let's look who is here. What is your, let's say, field of research or field of interest? So we know what we talk to each other. A lot of biology, biochemistry, life sciences. Yes, these are the campus-based departments and campus-based programs. Yes, chemistry, also on campus, mathematics, physics, geology, environmental health sciences, and also others. Great. So we have all disciplines. And why I'm asking you this, because I studied microbiology before, and then I did PhD in environmental chemistry, and my postdocs were in biology or toxicology. So I'm biased, and I will be talking from my perspective. But I think, so one aspect is that one size does not fit all. So some aspects that I will be highlighting may not be fully relevant to your research field. But from the personal development, I think that we all are and will be scientists, or all will be scientists. So the things of the general nature should be applicable to all. So great that we have so large diversity. And let's go then further. So what are our thoughts about you as becoming an excellent graduate, meaning a doctor of science? I think that these are obvious things, but first of all, what you should do to reach it is your research, your independent research, leading to new findings, leading to publications, and then finally defense. I want to comment here that your research is really essential, and it's the core of PhD. And the outcomes of your research, publications, namely quality publications in, let's say, high quality journals, are very important in contemporary science. We can have debates eventually about the meaningfulness of all publications that are coming out now in the science, but they are kind of measure of quality and measure of performance in the science. So don't underestimate it. Think about it straight ahead since early of your studies. They are important for you, for your career. If you want to go further in your academic career, as it was expressed by many of you before, it's essential, but it's also important for us. So this is a buzzword publication, but it really proves that you did something new, that somebody else saw it and approve it as a new finding. Science, research. Then don't underestimate your theoretical skills. In your different programs and departments, there are different requirements. But I would also encourage you not only to focus on the obligatory courses, for example, that your program requires you to take, but look around, because there are nowadays many online tools, many webinars, many summer schools, and so on, that you can participate, often free of charge, and learn a lot in your field, in your expertise. Go for that. Try to develop your theoretical skills further. And there is a third part, and it's practical skills. It's really the practical science research aspects. And now I don't mean, for example, pipetting in our field of molecular biology or biology, but practices that are relevant for all scientists. And I think that you can do this, and we all learn this by doing, by networking, and also by mentoring, by your peers, by your supervisors. And these are so-called soft skills sometimes, but they are the third pillar that you must develop if you want to become a PhD of Pokemon or PhD of your discipline. First, I will highlight data and statistics. This is still underestimated, but I think that in all our disciplines, as we are here, data are becoming more and more important. We live in the 21st century, and statistics and understanding statistics and correct interpretation is really essential. So if you did not consider that yet, consult with your supervisor and go for example, statistics courses, or learn more about this, how to play with data. Then, and I put it as a second point, is the special issue for today. It's really mobility, international experiences, because your network, science is global. It's not about doing science in Brno, Czech Republic. It is irrelevant. You must, in any discipline that you have, you must develop your own network, and that's possible only through mobility. Also, one thing that we should not forget is, let's say, teaching and supervising skills. For you, many of you perhaps may have experiences with working with younger students, but getting this experience, how to work with somebody for whom you have to prepare the work, you have to plan his or her work, or actual teaching and presenting, these are the skills that you can, again, only learn by doing. So I encourage you, whenever you have a chance to supervise bachelor student or even secondary school students, go for that. Another skill that you will have to have is writing. First of all, writing grant project proposals and also write publications. These are difficult. Some of you may have talent and are born as writers, but usually scientists, and I know it from my experience, love to be in the laboratory, love to work and explore, learn new things. But then when it comes to writing, it is difficult. So start to work on this skill as soon as you can. Try to make summaries of your even research, or let's say reviews that you are doing, because it will help you to practice this writing part a lot, and it's essential for your future. Presenting your research to scientists is important, lectures, posters, and so on, but also communicate your science to laymen. It's an important part of you as a doctor. Once you become PhD, it will be required that you don't need only talk to your peers that understand your language, but also to public. You should be able to show the relevancy and importance of your work for the society, because in most cases, it is the society that pays you. And they have to be convinced, and you have to show it, you have to be able. So these are other aspects in your work. And also, final note, keep up to date with issues in science, because our field is developing quite fast. I don't know if you are aware of, for example, developments in so-called EOSC, European Open Science Cloud, or open science in general, for example, at Masaryk University, or some kind of problematic publishing practices that some publishing houses nowadays have, such as NDPI and others. It's a debate, but please, if you want to become this PhD real graduate, excellent, this is another skill that you must have. So look around and discuss with your mentors, contribute. So this is the structure of PhD, okay? And now, what are our generic expectations? And now I'm talking again from the perspective of the dean or vice dean. First of all, our main goal together, and I think it's important to have it always in front of our eyes, is that together, you as early stage researchers and us as your supervisor want to reach really a common goal. It is advancing science for the good. And it may be good of people, good of health, good of society, or good of planet. Put there whatever you want, but please keep it in front of your eyes why you do science as the main value that you try to address, or that we try to address together. Yeah, so the other aspect, our expectation, is that you have just 4 years to become a doctor of science, and this is a limited time. So we encourage you to use this time and benefits as much as possible, because it's a limited window and limited offer that you have. After this, once you learn the most during these 4 years, however, be ready to move forward elsewhere, out of Faculty of Science, out of Masaryk University, out of Czech Republic. Be ready to move for postdocs, because it will enrich you incredibly and will help you to move forward even in the career. And also, I just don't want to discourage you that we just want to have you here for PhD and then kick you off. We will be very happy to see you afterwards, when you eventually, after your postdocs, come back and apply for the positions that will be open, and coming for example, second postdocs or open tenure track positions here, like assistant professors and so on. But nowadays, the policy, and it's really for good of you, it's not only like policy, it's essential. Work intensively during these 4 years, sorry, 4 years, and then be ready to go outside. It's essential. Another view or another aspect that I would like to stress out is that PhD, as it is a contract, kind of win-win contract between you as a student and us as the institution. And this contract-like interaction is really signed for 4 years. We, as faculty or departments, all your supervisors, we offer to this contract our facilities, our know-how, our skills to train, our capacities to mentor, and also our financing to your research. And now I'm not talking about the like benchtop financing of your practical research, but also your life financing. This is what we offer. But on the other hand, we expect something from you, because it's a contract. So we expect to have your capacities, to have your brain, your hands, your motivation as a part of this contract to move it forward. And also, I would like to stress out that this contract should be full-time. You should work during these 4 years focusing on this step in your career, and not if you learn that this is the way forward, and not to dissolve or dilute your attention to different directions. And this is the last point on this slide now, that your PhD topic, whatever you do for PhD, and financing, for example, scholarships or part-time contracts that are offered to you, should be aligned and synergized. So if you work for your supervisor, then the supervisor should finance you both from the scholarships, which is the part of university, and, for example, grant of your supervisor. But this should be put together, and not asking you that for example, for a part-time job, you do something different and it does not count for your PhD. That should not be the practice. And if it happens to you, and I know that there are situations where supervisors pay PhD students and require to do something else, which does not count. This is not wanted practice. Let me know about it, because we have to face it, and we have to also educate our supervisors. So this is the, and finally, you are aware of that, because when I ask you in the beginning, most of you just stressed out that it's your career, your challenges, and so on. That's wonderful. But just to remind it again, for those of you who are not fully aware, going for PhD is your decision in your life and your career, and the success of your PhD is your responsibility primarily. Of course, we try to do our best to support you in the framework of this contract, so we can support you, but we want to see that you are fully engaged. But also, if you want to support you, we need to know what are your needs, what are your troubles. So if you face some of the issues during your PhD studies, come back, raise your voice, let us know, so we can improve. Also, we can improve support to yourself. So these are our expectations, and so that was little mentoring from my side, and now some notes on the mobilities before we go for practical issues. Yeah, maybe I will start with this slide, or with here on the right side. Just encourage you again to go for students and the PhD section, And if you dig in, you will find about the information specifically about the stays abroad that Kristina Bajgarova developed recently to very nice, comprehensive portfolio of information. So please go there and look at it carefully as soon as possible. Because I have, again, generic notes on these mobilities. So first of all, just repeating, PhD is your decision in your life and career, and also your future success depends on your network, including international partners. So not only considering that it's really obligatory now to go for 1 month abroad, we still see some resistance from some students. Why should I go abroad? It's not relevant for me. I'm doing this type of science in my laboratory. It's not only about doing this perfectly the things that are planned for your science, but international experience is about the networking and about seeing different things from different angles. It's essential to go out, and it's your responsibility. In this case, or in this situation, your responsibility is also to plan ahead and also seek for the most relevant stay abroad. Don't wait until your supervisor or your administrator and the dean just knows, well, you haven't been abroad yet. How do you want to deal with that? Start to think about it straight, because the stay abroad should be, again, in synergy with your plans, with your research topic, and it may not be 100% your topic, but it should advance you, bring you new skills. If you are, for example, biochemist and you want to learn more about about certain methods that you don't practice, but you may use them in the future, this is also the plan for you. Also, your responsibility is to be proactive. So proactively apply for travel grants, conference scholarships, and so on, because it again builds your skills to write down your ideas, to apply, and to succeed in these applications. Do it. That's a part of our job as scientists. I mentioned we will support you. We can help you to identify, for example, and contact partners abroad, because sometimes we are flooded by emails, and one email from a PhD student from Brno can just end up in the junk. But we can help you with this. We also have a lot of opportunities to support your efforts. So if you try and seek and then you don't have money, just come over and apply for scholarships. Everything is here on this web page, so you can find kind of logic behind it. And also, we will support you with the administration, because sometimes it may be demanding. However, we will support you within our contractual framework, meaning that we will support students that are not only willing to grow on their own, but they want to help to grow our faculty and university. So what we encourage, and this is in this specific document, which is available here on the web page, we specifically encourage you to travel to strategic partners of your supervisor, of your department, and so on, to allow establishment long-term partnerships. Saying that, we will not support as faculty by scholarships your trips, for example, to, I don't know, Hawaii, where it's lovely to go there, but it will not be in line with the strategic thinking. Also, we encourage you to travel to best universities, because you can only learn from the best. If you go to country which is or the university which is not very well developed, or the group which is not so strong, you will not learn much. So go to the best, and also follow the rules and procedures that are in this document, because there are requirements before you go, when you are abroad, and when you come back. There is a specific detailed presentation given by our colleagues, provided on the web page and also for this PhD day. So just look at those as soon as you start, or as soon as you plan your PhD. Of course, it's not like it's not so easy sometimes to find the proper place, but with your supervisors, we can help you to identify and contact the proper colleagues. And now it's a little bit well, I'm a talkative person, as you know. As you learned, we have now options to listen to our colleagues, PhD students who have been abroad, We have two colleagues that agreed to share their experiences, so I will stop sharing now. And Ben Joseph, now it's your time, so please, we will be happy to hear whether and how it's useful.
Can anyone hear me? I'm not sure about my microphone.
We can hear you.
My audio is fine?
We can hear you.
All right, perfect. So, hi, I'm Ben from, of course, Faculty of Science under SBMM, the group of Professor Marek, and I received an email from Andrea, I think that was August 5, that please share your experience, your Erasmus, I think there's a specific term, traineeship. Because there are lots of Erasmus actually, but mine was like a Erasmus traineeship program. So it was kind of a research oriented type of Erasmus, and I did it from September 2019, and then that was for one semester, so it ended in February 2020. That was before everything become crazy. You know, we know that March last year, that was like everyone was closed, everything. So I was lucky that I did my stay, and then I went back to Brno. Fine, because I think a month later after that, even Austria closed its border. So it was like, yeah. So I would like to I asked Andrea to elaborate what did the PhD they wanted to hear from me. So they said that there are specific or there's no specific. So I want to share basically the importance of the program itself, and then my tips if you want to plan things, and basically what I learned from this opportunity. So basically, we have a collaborator in Salzburg, Austria. So it was Professor Berger. He's basically a German, but works in Salzburg. So we have a collaborator. So prior to that, we have trips to Salzburg with my boss and with my other postdocs. So I think 6 months before that, during the last day of our stay, so I walked with Professor Marek in the mountain because it was like last day. So we walk in the mountain, and then he told me that, Ben, why not stay here for like one semester, you know, for a formal stay, not these short trips, because it would be very good for you. And I said, yeah, sure, right. So I will do it. So I did look at the international, I think it was Center for International Cooperation. That's the official website of the Maastricht University if you want to do the specifics, and it was very organized there. And our guarantor, Erasmus guarantor in Faculty of Science, Professor Brosch, was very, very helpful. So the application went well. It was smooth sailing. But then again, I have a tip, because I didn't consider it that I was actually applying for an Erasmus that will start on summer. So it was like, instead of September, it was July, but then it was Salzburg, Austria. So when I email all the accommodation, students accommodation there, it was like, no, sir, because this is Salzburg, and in Salzburg, it has a summer music festival. So every dorm, everything there will be converted into the hotel. So it would be the prices shoots up and everything. So it was like, aha, okay, so what will I do with this approved Erasmus program? So luckily, I know that you can defer it actually, even though they approve it, you are allowed to defer it or move it. So I asked the coordinators that can I do it September instead of summer, because it was really, I didn't expect that, you know, but I should, because, you know, Salzburg is Mozart. So we do know that there is really this festival. So I did, and I arrived in Salzburg, and the good thing about the Erasmus program is it's very already well established. So once you arrive there, you will have the dean's office, the dean's office, and the international Salzburg Erasmus coordinator, and then they have also their student body. So they will add you in their chat. and all the Erasmus students there are basically invited into general orientation. So, but the thing is, I'm Erasmus traineeship, so I'm not this Erasmus bachelor students type. So, but then again, they include me. So I joined during the initial week. I joined every Erasmus related activities there. So I met lots of people, and then we even have a common group chat, like WhatsApp chat, for all the students, so that we can plan whatever things might happen in weekends. You know, like trips and occasional parties here and there. But it was kind of organized there by the South Erasmus coordinators there. And then on a serious note, during my stay there, it was really it really enriched me, because our coordinator there, Professor Berger, is really expert in his field. So I really did learn lots of things there, and it expands my horizon, my knowledge, my research on the current project at the time that I'm currently working with. In fact, I'm actually writing 2 papers because of that stay, and one was basically under revision right now, and the other I'm currently writing. But it really did help me a lot. So if you guys, Professor previously mentioned that some students are hesitant on this program. That's why they push it to be mandatory. But actually, if your boss suggests to you that do this, I would encourage you to do it, because I mean they know that it will make you grow, and of course it is a collaboration. So it's not like you will be thrown somewhere with starting from scratch. It's like you're doing this certain research, and then you will go to the other group to enrich yourself, and then work with expand this particular topic, and then explore with it a little bit more. And 6 months and 1 semester, you can really learn a lot, unless you are just there for party and stuff. But on a serious note, I met lots of people there. I mean, I didn't even expect that I met because I'm from the Philippines. So when I did my Erasmus, I met lots of Filipinos there. It was like 4 or 5, and I was surprised that they're also doing Erasmus, and they're from other universities in Europe. And then I also met like 3 Czechs, and we made a trip sometimes during weekends around Salzburg and all the stuff, and I'm still connected with them. One is from Olomouc, the other is in Prague. So it was very, very helpful, especially with our. I mean, we are all PhD students, even though we are in different fields. But it really helps when you know someone from this lab, from this place, from that place, from that thing. I mean, it will really enrich you, especially as Professor said that we are now in a globalized world. So we should think globally, and because we have to deal with the problems of our planet, as Professor said. So we only have one planet Earth, So whether we like it or not, this is not the time for like individual thinking, and but we should work together. And I think the international exchange program that are there in those websites are really, really helpful. And then I would like to add to note that when I was applying, I'm not sure about this, but actually it makes me sad that the mobility program. I mean, no, correct me if I'm wrong, Professor, but I hear that actually it's very small students that are actually taking advantage of this opportunity. That's what I heard. So
yeah, I don't know exactly what you mean by the program. Maybe we can come back to that. It's not true, because we have since
lots
this
of
year
applications,
we have enormous amount being pumped to the system, scholarships, and maybe Christina can support it afterwards.
What I mean is that at that time I was the only one applying that program, so there was no competition. No one was taking advantage of the program. There is this money, there is this program, but no one is applying, which is a pity.
Well, I would not say no one, but still, as I mentioned, students or young people still are a little bit hesitating. So that's great to hear from you.
Because
it may become more competitive, but I still think at this moment we are ready to find the ways for you to support and Erasmus combined with other scholarships, for example, that we have available, will help also to increase the amount of money to help it.
No, because
Thank you very much.
Okay, because at the time I remember I was actually nervous because some other students might be applying. There are competitors, but I found out I think they accepted me because I don't have the competitors, and then I just wanted to emphasize that the program is very the process is very helpful. So my original I extended my program actually for additional 2 months, and it can be done online. So that's the good thing. You don't need to go back to Borneo and do the paperwork. So I would encourage everyone to participate in this international mobility program. And thank you for inviting me for this talk.
Thank you, Ben. Thanks a lot. That was very nice. Thank you very much for your vibrant and vital contribution. Thank you very much. Thank you. And the other colleague was Pratik. I think Pratik, you had prepared even a few slides, so you can share your screen.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, a little faint. Try again.
Now it's okay.
Well, I can hear you a little bit, but
Or I can.
yeah, now it's better. Now it's better.
Now it's better.
Yeah. And we can see the screen. Yeah.
Afternoon, all. PhD student.
Well, I'm sorry, Pratik. The sound is not good.
Just a moment.
It's just coming and disappearing, like being broken. Now it sounds like fluent.
Yeah, now can you hear me?
Yeah, that's lovely.
Okay, so perfect. Okay, myself Pratik Goswami. I'm a fourth year PhD student under Professor Václav Brazda. I'm working at Institute of Biophysics and also NCBR of Masaryk University. So I did my Erasmus Plus internship last semester at University of Dundee, which is located in Scotland, under the supervision of Dr. Jean Christophe Borden. So my project over there was mostly focuses on the SARS-CoV-2 vaccine production and check the transcriptional activity of p53 isoforms when the cell line get infected with SARS-CoV-2. So before going further, I will just introduce that what are the steps I needed to complete my internship. So I must say, to apply for a Erasmus application, it's always better to have in advance, like 1 or 2 months before, because you need some of the documents. You have to prepare the motivational letter, and after you get approval from the Erasmus committee, you have to submit the application at the host institute, and which may require you for your visa application. If you are a foreigner, you have to apply for a visa for specific countries. So, and regarding funding, I must say the Erasmus is having funding. Just a moment. Yeah, so I will describe later step by step that you need a learning agreement, and you always have to focus the deadlines which Erasmus stated for their applications. And regarding funding, I must say it will be depends on the country where you are applying for, but it also depends on your faculty. Like I also received some of the funding from Faculty of Science, and in some cases it can be possible to get a grant from host institute, but it depends totally on the supervisor and the host institute over there. So I must say it can be like a 1 or 2 months procedure. So I always advise to start your application early to avoid a last minute problems. So for visa application, I'm just stating the documents which I needed for my UK visa application. As I'm from India, so I needed this application for my visa applications, and based on that it will also take like 20 to 25 days, so it's better to take everything in advance. So these are the major steps which you need for your Erasmus application. It can be also possible to prolong your application. Like I went there for in the beginning, like only for 3 months, and then I prolonged my application more 3 months. And by that time, you just have to submit some of the motivational letter and also the Erasmus extension letter and some of the formalities, and it won't be much difficult for anyone to prolong. And during the prolongation time also you can take a support from the faculty or from the Erasmus committee, so it will be easy for you to adjust yourself financially over there in the abroad. Okay, so for my personal experience, I must say I did my Erasmus internship at Jackie Wood Cancer Center, which is a part of University of Dundee. And the Dundee is the very good city. It's located at the coastal side of United Kingdom, and it was very good experience over there. I spent my 6 months under a professor and under the very nice colleague over there. So as for my, I just wanted to share some of my results, which I really believe that helps me a lot in my professional career and also for my future perspective. And that only happens because of this Erasmus internship. So I isolated the spike protein of the coronavirus, which everyone knows, and from that spike protein, some of the colleagues who were working on the VLP based vaccine, they used that spike protein to immunize the mice. So this is one of the project of mine where I developed the spike protein, and it was just to immunize or to get vaccine antibody from the mice, and it was one of the part of my project. And the second part was to study the p53 expression when the spike induced inside the cell line, which is actually the part of my PhD, which I'm doing in Czech Republic. That's on p53 and DNA binding properties. So this will be the part of my thesis where like a different concentration of spike protein can reduce the expression level of p53. So this all results will be a part of my future publication, I must say. So I really suggest everyone to just go with the Erasmus committee. It will give you a tremendous experience, and it maybe create an opportunity for you for a future. Like if you have a good connection, if you have a good results, it can be possible that in future you don't have to worry about your postdoc or your other kind of job if you are looking for, because it will really create a strong network over there if you go there with your colleagues, with the supervisor and with other colleagues. So this is all from my side, and these are my team. He's a supervisor over there, Jean Christoph Borden, who is having a collaboration with my supervisor in Czech Republic, Václav Brazda. And these are my teams, and I have some nice pictures of UK and Scotland. So that's all for my side. Thank you for your attention. If you have any question, I am ready to answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pratik. Excellent. Thanks a lot. That's exactly, even the instructions to you were not super clear, but you address it perfectly, because this is what we wanted. We want to have immediate reflections and ideas. Wonderful. Now maybe I will ask whether there are some questions from anybody who is online here to Pratik or Ben. If you are interested to raise the question, I would ask you to raise your hand in the upper part. There is this icon with the hand up, so you can ask our colleagues online if you are brave enough, or you can type your question to the chat. Or now you know the names and you know the faces, so I don't know if you guys agree, but then if you have practical or somebody has practical issues, Christina and others in the office can help, but you can eventually help with the practical tips as well. So I think that I don't offend you if I just raise that colleague students can directly approach you afterwards. But I don't see any questions. Cool. Thank you very much, Pratik. Thanks, Ben. So great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I will continue with 2 or 3 more slides. So I will just start sharing here. And this is just practical information that you all probably know because you've been in contact with your colleagues. But okay, let me see in the chat. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Maybe we can come back a little bit. So let's go back one slide. There is a question from Narendra Varma, if I read it correctly. While everyone's speaking about the good things, but what about the challenges you face the most? Ben, Pratik, are you still with us? Can you address
Yes,
it?
sir.
Yeah.
I'm there. So the challenge is, I must say, it's like for me, it was a bit difficult for the visa application, because the time for the visa was like 15 days, and my visa application took like almost like 22 days. Plus, when you submit the application at host institute, I submitted my application, if I remember, it was in July or August. So by that time, I didn't get a faster response from the host institute. So when I applied for my visa, I didn't have acceptance letter from the institute over there. But from the supervisor at the host institute, he sent me the acceptance letter, and based on that, I applied for my visa, which also allowed me. But it's if it's possible, it's always necessary to have a acceptance letter from the university, expect from the supervisor. So that is the major stuff. And the second stuff is also preparing a motivational letter, I must say, that if you are going there, you have to know that on which project you are going to work. So it always better to discuss with your supervisor over here, like in Czech Republic, and also at the host institute by email or by some other networks, that what will be your future project. So based on that, it's better always to plan your 6 month, or to plan your stay, that what you will going to do there, and it will help you to not waste your time. When you reach there, you know what's your goal are, and that will be easier for you to start your work directly over there. So I must say these are the two challenges which I faced during my Erasmus internship. And apart from that, I don't think the documentation is much difficult. Yeah, it do take time, but if you have everything, then it won't much difficult for anyone to apply for Erasmus internship, I must say.
Thank you. Something to add from your side, Ben?
As Pratik stated, that was the I also faced those challenges, and then I would like to add one challenge, because I have a course here, that like a seminar course that I have to take every semester. So at the time when I was away for one semester, I need to enroll there, specific course in that university. So that was a little bit of challenge, because I uh, did have to need to negotiate to that university that I'm only here as one semester, so that they will allow me to enroll in also in the same seminar, like kind of equivalent seminar, so that I can get the credit there.
Yeah, but now I think, yeah, that's good point. Thanks for raising it, because we are facing it all times. And I think it's also a little bit issue on our side, because we have certain obligations here that may easily be waived. For example, for you as students going out, if we say, well, for your semester while you are in UK or elsewhere, you just don't need to sign for obligatory seminars here. That's quite easy to do it here. So that's good to hear, and we will communicate it to boards, to PhD boards, because it's in the hand of PhD board to really weigh it and say, no, for you don't need to apply for that.
Okay.
Thank you. And I see some comments. Thanks for sharing the experience. A question about the choice of the host institute. What it based on the infrastructure or instruments, or the experience of the host institute? How did you pick? Well, I think Ben, you talked about it, right?
Yeah, because it just happened because we were actually visiting that institute, because that is our main collaborator. So for me, in my case, it was because of our collaboration and the expertise of that group that we need. So it's not about like specific infrastructure or instruments, because I was working with computational chemistry. So
So I think it depends really, and the aspects may be different. Good. Yeah. Good. So there are no further comments. I think it's okay, Akrem. We can, because Akrem, you are from our program, we can discuss it afterwards in more detail. Good. So let's go further to these last 2 or 3 slides that we have prepared for you. Thank you very much, all of you, for your questions and comments and replies, of course. And thanks to Ben and Patrick for collaboration. Now, just 2 slides on the practical notes. First, these are the study assistants for our Czech and Slovak students. They are distributed according to different programs, study programs. As you know, these ladies are always ready to help you. So don't hesitate to come, don't hesitate to ask. And if they advise you and provide you the materials, please try to follow the rules, because the studies are in PhD format. They are based on individual study programs, but still we have certain formalities and requirements that we have to follow to be able at the end really to grant you the diploma for PhD. And these are the contacts for our international students, Christina and Clara. So they are your primary contact for helping you with practical issues, but also with your studies. But I'm pretty sure that you all know the names. Now I'm coming to almost the last slide, asking whether you have some generic questions or points or issues that come to your mind now. If you wish, you can type your question to the chat window. If you wish, then you can raise your hand or speak, activate your microphone. We also have developed a list of, let's say, generic questions that are coming from students, and they are now in the frequently asked questions document that ladies in the Dean's office have. So whenever you have question on the study, on the procedures, don't hesitate to come. Participating at classes remotely seems to be difficult this semester. Yeah, that's rather a note. In this semester, I mean, if you are talking about classes here at Faculty of Science at Masaryk University, we, for the sake of coming back to normal, the general rule is that all classes are really on site. But we also encouraged professors to eventually record the presentations for the students, and or ideally, at least from my perspective, and I try to talk to people, but I'm not the only one having influence on that. I always try to support all options. Having lectures on site, recording the lectures, and also allowing the direct access to through, for example, Teams as we land. So Joshua, I'm sorry to hear that you are facing only the option to be on site. I feel from your question that maybe you can be elsewhere and you would like to participate in the classes. The online connection would be possible, but for some reason your lecturer does not allow it. There is no, unfortunately, at least from my perspective, there is no strict rule that, for example, all teachers would have to record and would have to allow online access at the same time. Also for large classes, it may be more difficult. So I just apologize for this inconvenience. Try to consult with the lecturer, whether he or she will be able to adapt and, for example, record and so on. Thank you. Okay. If there are no further questions, I will have last question to you, and it's very easy. If you go again to Lindan 443, how do you feel? Are you ready to go? So yellow, green, light green, a lot of green, it appears. I hope you can see that. So not many of you really feeling disappointed. Some of you have doubts. That's life. But again, as it was heard, and I could hear a lot of motivation from you. Science is not only fun, but it's a big adventure for all life. So if you have doubts and you are not sure, talk to people around you. Talk to your peers, to students, PhD students that maybe are progressing. Talk maybe to graduates or other colleagues. Talk to your supervisor. If you don't feel that your supervisor provides sufficient feedback, there is always program board or program head that should listen to you. And if he or she does not listen to you, come over to us. Because we, as you can see, we try to help you, we try to promote you, support you. And if you don't feel the good responses at the lowest level, we can help through formal or informal procedures for them. But I see that most of you were in green colors or yellow colors. That's good to see. So I wish you a wonderful start of your studies. I wish you wonderful succeeding and graduating at the end. I thank you for your attention. And if you have any questions or comments afterwards, then let us know. We will be really happy to hear any feedback from you. And as it was mentioned, our colleagues from the HR award office will contact you back with the request for feedback. Thank you very much for your collaboration, and good luck in this academic year and in all your career. Thank you very much.